This is a really cool commitment. I want to invite to the stage Murad Farid of Delos Living, Deepak Chopra of Delos Living, Steve Bing of Shangri-La Industries, Terry McAuliffe of Green Tech Automotive, Will I Am, and Jason McClellan from the International Living Future Institute. Here's what this commitment's about. The average American spend 90% of their time inside, making the conditions of indoor spaces where we live, work, learn, and play of profound importance to our health. In response to this challenge, Delos Living is committing to creating a well building standard. Not just a green building standard, a well living standard. The first building rating system to focus on the effect of construction techniques and technologies on human health. The framework for healthy buildings is meant to operate alongside the existing building standards, such as LEED and Living Building Challenge. But rather than focusing just on environmental sustainability, it will zone in on immediate human health effects. Buildings will be judged according to 12 health categories, including respiratory health, cardiovascular health, healthy weight, and metabolism. They will begin work with Shangri-La Industries on 6 homes, 41 wellness-themed hotel rooms, and 500 office spaces to showcase these healthy building standards and hopefully do something that will literally change the way we live and work in a very positive way. That's exciting, huh? Wouldn't you like to be part of that?
We're privileged to be here at CGI to announce this commitment. It really started about 6 years ago with a question when we asked ourselves, why do we stop at building homes and schools and offices that are good for just the community and the environment? Why not also look at the humans within it? And what that launched was this effort, which we're now introducing as a well building standard. And what that does over the last 6 years was we looked around the world for the best minds, some of which you'll hear from here, the best institutions, and we married science, technology to architecture.
Now, the thing about green building standards is that, while certainly health is an issue that is looked at in those programs, they don't tend to take a holistic enough view of health and wellness. And so the idea of launching the world's first building standard that focuses exclusively on the elements that not only protect us in terms of our well-being, but actually help to improve our productivity, help to make us more effective in our work, and healthier in all aspects of the term.
This is a very important public policy issue for us. We all know in America we spend entirely too much money on healthcare. It's not an efficient delivery system. So we've got to start early on in getting people thinking about being healthy. And you should do it in your home, you should do it in school, you should do it at your work. And what Delos, working with Deepak Chopra, is to come up with many different things we can do in the home, in the office, in the school to make it a healthier environment. If you can have an added incentive inside that home that it will make you healthier and it will be a wellness home, I think there's a huge market across this country who, if you make a decision to buy this home versus that home, and you have these little additions that we put into these homes, I think that will be able to transform communities and more people will want to build them.
And we're instituting this standard in several pilot projects right now. A residential project here in New York City in Greenwich Village, where we're putting all these standards and features in a 30,000 square foot building, and there'll be for sale residences. We're implementing this standard in an office project on the West Coast. We're implementing this standard in a hospitality project in Las Vegas. These are all pilot projects, and now we're implementing this standard in Will's Transform Center in Boyle Heights. We're looking to showcase and demonstrate the benefits far outweigh any of the challenges that we could talk about today of what we're introducing and its impact.
Our goal is to try and build these homes all over the country. We've just decided to move ahead into the schools because if you look at the amount of time, as everyone's talked about, the amount of time we're in the home, in the school, in the office, we've got to get children at that young age through the air filtration system, the walls, the windows. There are so many things we could do to make it a better environment for our children to be healthier at school. and hopefully they'll take those lessons with them as they go forward.
You have state-of-the-art buildings for musicians called Disney Music Hall, inspiring people to go in there and play their best because they're in a state-of-the-art building. And then you have state-of-the-art stadiums and theaters for people to perform in and to, do sports in. But there's no state-of-the-art education building. It doesn't exist. Having a building, a state-of-the-art education center with new technologies and new standards on wellness, that's going to put fire in these kids to know that they're sitting in something and they're part of something that's going to change their neighborhood in America.
In Will's project, Transformable Heights, for instance, one of our technologies will be a coating that prevents the transmission of germs. So we're preventing children from getting sick. That doesn't cost a lot to do. It's just caring enough that children don't get sick and looking into the technology that prevents them from getting sick.
There's still a lot of myths about the cost of green, but in fact, this isn't a more expensive proposition. This is a better economic proposition. We're introducing that now with wellness, and it's about time. But what we hope to do is change the market so that this kind of idea is not something that is only available for the rich and only available for those that have the means.
Our partners have included the Cleveland Clinic, the Mayo Clinic, Columbia Medical School. As you see, a distinguished group of partners and advisors, and that is meant to be collaborative and continue to be collaborative and ultimately evolve to a public forum.
There's something going on, obviously. There's genetic. People get cancers because it's genetic. But most of the medical profession will tell you today that there's an environment issue. It's how we live today, our air, what we eat. Our goal here is to try and fix those as much as we can with the latest scientific technology that we have from the Cleveland Clinic and Mayo, to try early on to get into the home to try and eradicate some of those things that we're not quite exactly sure, but why the environment is causing people to have different types of cancers. There are things that we're going to test, very state-of-the-art, to make it a healthier home. And if we can get our children earlier, but we're looking at doing some communities and retirement communities and build a whole wellness center for people who are retired, built around health centers in their homes. If you can live in a healthier home, you would prefer to do that. If we can deliver it and make it cost effective, which is our goal, we've got to make it cost effective for folks, but there's something going on with the environment that is making people sick. And our goal is to try and use the latest technology, and evolves and changes every day, to take those latest technologies and do the best we can to get them in the homes to begin this process of everybody thinking, how is it that we can have a healthier home or school?